What looked like an ordinary photo inside the Eiffel Tower suddenly became one of the most talked about BTS moments among fans. As Jungkook stood incredibly close to Taehyung, thousands of ARMY couldn't help but shift their attention to Jin. It wasn't because anyone said a single word. It was the tiny details that sparked endless discussions across social media. Was it just a casual moment between friends? Or did fans notice something everyone else missed? Before you decide for yourself, watch this moment until the very end, because the detail everyone keeps talking about might completely change the way you see this unforgettable Eiffel Tower photo. What began as a simple stop inside the Eiffel Tower quickly turned into one of the most discussed BTS moments among fans. There were no grand gestures, no dramatic expressions, and no words that anyone could hear. Yet within seconds, one small detail captured the attention of thousands of ARMY around the world. As the three members stood together against the breathtaking Paris skyline, many fans immediately focused on how close Jungkook and Taehyung appeared. It was the kind of natural moment that could easily happen between close friends, but once the photo spread across social media, every tiny detail became the center of endless conversations. Fans zoomed in, compared different angles, and began sharing their own interpretations of what they believed they had noticed. Then another detail slowly stole the spotlight. Attention shifted toward Jin. He wasn't making a dramatic gesture or standing far away. Instead, fans became curious simply because he was part of the same unforgettable frame. As more people looked at the photo, discussions grew even louder. Some believed the image perfectly reflected the comfortable friendship shared by all three members. Others wondered if there was an unnoticed detail hidden in their body language that made the moment feel even more memorable. That is exactly why this single photo refused to disappear from ARMY timelines. Unlike carefully planned promotional pictures, this moment felt effortless. It looked spontaneous, genuine, and completely natural. Sometimes those are the moments that fans treasure the most because they leave room for imagination rather than providing every answer immediately. Soon, countless comments began appearing. Every fan seemed to notice something different. Some focused on Jungkook. Others couldn't stop looking at Taehyung. Many kept returning to Jin, convinced there was one subtle detail they had missed during their first glance. The more people examined the image, the more theories continued to appear. Perhaps that is what makes BTS moments so unforgettable. A single photograph can tell dozens of different stories depending on who is looking at it. No official explanation is needed. No captions are required. The smallest interaction is enough to create discussions that last for days, proving once again how deeply fans appreciate every shared memory between the members. Even now, this Eiffel Tower photo continues to spark curiosity. Every new viewer seems to discover another tiny detail that someone else overlooked. Maybe the real story isn't about who stood closest to whom, but about how one candid moment reminded millions of fans why these genuine interactions continue to feel so meaningful. But there is still one question that keeps returning every time this photo appears again. What was the one tiny detail that made so many people stop scrolling and look at Jin before looking back at the entire picture once more? That answer is still being debated by fans, and perhaps that mystery is exactly what keeps this unforgettable Eiffel Tower moment alive. The longer fans stared at the Eiffel Tower photo, the more impossible it became to ignore the tiny details hidden within it. At first glance, it looked like nothing more than three BTS members enjoying a peaceful moment high above Paris. The breathtaking city lights stretched endlessly behind them, creating a picture that seemed almost too perfect to be real. Yet within hours, this single image had become one of the most replayed and discussed moments among ARMY. Everyone noticed Jungkook standing remarkably close to Taehyung. Their relaxed posture reflected the comfort and trust that fans have admired for years. It was not a staged pose or an obvious attempt to create a memorable photograph. Instead, it felt completely natural, and perhaps that authenticity was exactly what made people stop scrolling. Then something unexpected happened. As fans continued examining every inch of the picture, conversations slowly shifted away from Jungkook and Taehyung. More and more people found themselves looking toward Jin. Not because he made a dramatic movement or demanded attention, but because his presence completed the moment in a way that many viewers couldn't quite explain. Thousands of comments began appearing across social media. Every fan seemed to discover a different detail. Some believed the entire photo represented the genuine friendship that has always connected the members. Others argued that the atmosphere itself made the image unforgettable. The Eiffel Tower, the quiet smiles, the relaxed body language, and the feeling that no cameras or expectations could interrupt the moment all blended together into something that felt incredibly personal. What fascinated fans even more was the silence. There were no interviews explaining what happened before the photo. There were no captions revealing what the members were talking about. No official behind-the-scenes story answered the questions people kept asking. That silence allowed imagination to take over, and suddenly one simple photograph transformed into countless different stories told by millions of fans around the world. Some viewers returned to the image again and again, convinced they had overlooked something the first time. Others compared every frame they could find from that day, hoping another angle would reveal the missing piece of the puzzle. The more they searched, the more mysterious the moment became. Perhaps that is the real reason this photo refuses to fade away. The strongest BTS memories are rarely the loudest ones. They are often built from quiet moments that happen naturally, without planning or performance. A glance, a step closer, a comfortable distance between friends, or the feeling that everyone simply enjoyed being together can leave a bigger impression than any carefully choreographed event. Days after the image spread, the conversations had still not ended. New fans continued discovering it for the first time, while longtime ARMY revisited it with fresh eyes. Every discussion seemed to begin with Jungkook standing close to Taehyung, but somehow it always circled back to Jin and the role he played in completing the picture. Maybe there was never a hidden secret at all. Maybe the mystery existed because the moment felt so genuine that everyone wanted to understand it in their own way. That possibility only made the photograph even more meaningful. And even today, one question continues to bring fans back to this unforgettable Eiffel Tower moment. If this was only an ordinary photo between three friends, why does it still feel like there is one final detail hidden in plain sight that almost everyone notices only after looking at the picture one more time? The mystery surrounding the Eiffel Tower photo only grew stronger as more fans revisited it. What seemed like an ordinary memory from Paris slowly transformed into one of those rare BTS moments that people simply could not stop discussing. There was no official explanation, no dramatic headline, and no behind-the-scenes video revealing what happened before or after the picture was taken. Yet somehow, that silence made the image even more powerful. The first thing most people noticed was how naturally Jungkook stood close to Taehyung. Nothing about the moment appeared rehearsed. There were no exaggerated poses or carefully planned expressions. Instead, it felt like three friends enjoying one of the most iconic places in the world together. That authenticity immediately resonated with fans because genuine moments often become the ones that last the longest. But the longer people looked, the more their attention wandered. Some viewers became curious about Jin's position in the frame. Others started comparing every facial expression, every glance, and every subtle movement they could identify. One fan noticed a tiny detail that another had completely overlooked. Soon, hundreds of theories began circulating. Every new observation encouraged even more people to return to the same photograph, convinced they might discover something nobody else had seen before. It became less about finding a correct answer and more about understanding why the image created such a strong emotional response. Perhaps it was because the Eiffel Tower itself represented something unforgettable. Paris has always been associated with dreams, unforgettable memories, and moments that people remember for the rest of their lives. Seeing BTS standing together in such an iconic location naturally made the photograph feel even more special. Fans weren't simply looking at three members posing for a picture. They were witnessing a memory that could never be recreated in exactly the same way again. As days passed, the conversations continued growing. Some believed the closeness between Jungkook and Taehyung reflected years of trust built through countless shared experiences. Others believed Jin's quiet presence balanced the entire image, creating a feeling that words could not easily describe. Everyone seemed to notice something different, Yet almost everyone agreed on one thing. The photograph carried an emotion that extended far beyond a simple snapshot. What made the moment unforgettable was not action but atmosphere. There were no bright stage lights, no cheering audience, and no performance demanding attention. Instead, there was only a peaceful moment shared high above Paris, where the world's busiest city suddenly felt quiet enough for a single photograph to capture the hearts of millions. That is why fans kept returning. Every revisit revealed another detail, a different angle, a new interpretation, a subtle expression that had somehow escaped notice before. The image almost invited people to slow down and observe it again, rewarding patience with tiny discoveries hidden in plain sight. Months from now, people may not remember every comment written beneath the photo or every theory that appeared online, but they will probably remember the feeling it created. The feeling that sometimes the simplest moments become the most meaningful because they leave room for imagination instead of providing every answer. And perhaps that is the greatest mystery of all. Why has this one quiet moment inside the Eiffel Tower remained unforgettable when countless other photos have slowly faded away? Somewhere within that single frame may be one final detail that most people still haven't noticed, a detail that continues to bring fans back, searching for an answer that may never need to be spoken aloud.